there's only very few differences. One is you want to make sure that if you find a child down, you're automatically, instead of running to get that AED, you're automatically giving compressions and breaths. Reason being is because odds are it's probably a breathing problem. So you want to make sure that you get that oxygen and that blood pumping before you have to go get that AED. Now, of course, most of us aren't alone with children. Your voice travels way faster than you do. So as you're doing those compressions, start screaming, somebody help me, get the AED, call 911. Because in a building this big, it's going to echo and someone's eventually going to be like, wow, what's going on over there? Human nature, we're all curious. You hear someone screaming, we're like, hey. So obviously, the more you yell, the more attention you're going to get. Another thing, they talk about using one hand instead of two hands on a child. That depends on the size of you and the size of the person that's down. You have an older lady that's very petite, and you can use one hand. Just because she's not a child doesn't mean that you have to use two hands. Use your best judgment on whether you can use two hands or one hand to get that depth of those compressions, okay? They consider a child as 8 years old and under. We don't know if we come up on someone how old they are. Use your best judgment. That's the only thing that we can do. It's the same thing, 30 compressions, 2 breaths, 30 compressions, 2 breaths. And I think that's it.